that you would put anything past those people? I wouldn't put anything past those people. Would you?
At this point, there's no depraved thing that you could imagine
that they wouldn't do.
Right. Like, it's just a matter of do they have the ability to do it or not?
Yeah.
Because they're going to do absolutely
Look, they did
anything.
They did Jeffrey Epstein's island. They did. That was the establishment that did that. That's the CIA. That's the FBI. They did that, and that's how they. And who do you think the CIA works for? You think they work for the president? Donald Trump proved that they don't. They work for the establishment, for the oligarchy. They work for those guys, the richest guys in the world. They don't. They work for big business and Wall Street. They don't work for the government. The government works for them, and Trump proved that. And that's what Russiagate was. Remember, Chuck Schumer admitted it. He said even as president, he's being really silly to mess with the intelligence community because they have 6 ways a Sunday to get back at you.
Let me ask you, I don't know if you have seen this. I don't want to blindside you with this. This is the latest statement, latest tweet, as you were just saying. The president-elect's latest unsolicited pronouncement on the intelligence community. This was his tweet just a little while ago tonight. You see the scare quotes there. The intelligence briefing on so-called Russian hacking was delayed until Friday. Perhaps more time needed to build a case. Very strange. We're actually told, intelligence sources tell NBC News since this tweet has been posted, that actually this intelligence briefing for the president-elect was always planned for Friday. It hasn't been delayed. But he's taking these shots, this antagonism, this taunting to the intelligence community.
Let me tell you, you take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really dumb to do this.
What do you think the intelligence community would do if they were motivated?
I don't know, but from what I am told, they are very upset with how he has treated them and talked about them. And we need the intelligence community. We don't know what's going on. Look at the Russian hacking. Without the intelligence community, we wouldn't have discovered it.
Do you think he has an agenda?
And that's what Russiagate was. Remember, Chuck Schumer admitted it. He said even as president, he's being really silly to mess with the intelligence community because they have 6 ways a Sunday to get back at you. And that's what this is proving. Anyway.
Yeah, that was great hearing a guy, a senator say that openly.
On television. And he didn't think there would be anything bad to say. Anyway, so that's called a gaffe, Kurt. That's when you tell the truth in Washington, D.C., and that's what Chuck Schumer did, and that was a gaffe. He was letting everybody know that the president is a puppet of the intelligence community. So then who does the intelligence community...
That was comforting.
Who do they really work for? They really work for the Wall Street and the military-industrial complex. That's who they work for. That's why every war we've ever gone to has been for a corporation's interests. That's what this is all about, and it always will be.
It's called synergy.
And so if they have to rig an election to make sure their corporatocracy keeps going, I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah. All wars are bankers' wars, by the way. And,
you think they would do? Do you think the people who would do Iraq war, do COVID lockdowns, and make up all that stuff they made up about COVID, they wouldn't do something like that? They wouldn't try to throw an election. They're trying to throw an election by imprisoning the one guy they know they can't beat at the ballot box. They're doing it right out in the open. They don't care. I wouldn't put anything past these people. And anybody who says you're crazy to think that they would rig an election, they're rigging an election right now by criminalizing their political opponents. That's what's called fascism. That's called dictatorship.
Running the media to teach you to moo like a cow on command. That's a rigging. The Hawaii not getting any of the benefits they need.
That's right.
And that's like even Katrina, they reported on that. You know?
Even Katrina, they reported on it.
Well, you know, the clip you saw of RT that was up on the screen with Fiorella talking there, they just did a piece on it, Russia Today, where they're talking about now the Russian government is blaming the United States government for coming out with these bioweapons and releasing them and working with Big Pharma. A whole big report came out.
Oh, no.
They presented it to the UN now, so that's what's it's getting caught up with the point that they're pointing to the United States like, we know you did this. You know, part of the whole biolabs in Ukraine, which, Putin took out almost immediately.
They're not weapons biolabs. They're just biolabs we're very afraid Russia might get their hands on. Then they'll have all the cures we were making.
Yes. That's great.
What if they get it and then they have the cures to bad diseases?
Hey, come.
And so if your goal is to maintain power, and if you think once you relinquish power, the problem with everything becoming... The problem with criminalizing politics is the people who do it imagine or know that it will be done to them. So once you start indicting your political opponents, you know that you have to win or else they're going to indict you if they win, right?
Right.
And so they can't lose. They will do anything to win. So how do they do that? They're not going to do COVID again. I know everyone on the right's afraid they're going to do COVID and mask mandate. They're not going to do that. They can't do that. If they've already been exposed, that won't work. There's going to be, no, what are they going to do? They're going to go to war with Russia is what they're going to do. There will be a hot war between the United States and Russia in the next year. And
Really?
Yes, of course. They want it anyway. I don't think we'll win it, but that's a separate analysis. But I think it's a political matter. They need to declare war footing in order to assume war powers in order to win. I believe that. And I think the evidence suggests that's true. So if you're worried about our politics getting like even more vicious than it already is, and people being hurt in our politics, which is entirely possible, you should be worried about the prospect of an open war. We're already at war with Russia, of course. We're funding their enemies. So we're fighting Russia. But I mean, an open battle with Russia where we say we're at war with Russia. I think that could easily happen. I think we could Tonkin Gulf our way into it, where all of a sudden missiles land in Poland. The Russians did it. Our NATO ally has been attacked. We're going to war. I could see that happening very easily. So if you're worried about that, you need to put as much pressure as you possibly can on the Republican-held Senate to force a peace, which can be done. The United States could force a peace in Ukraine tonight. We're funding one side. There is no Ukrainian army outside of NATO. If NATO withdrew its support for Ukraine, Ukraine would crumble in a day. So we are the only power in the world that can bring both sides to the table to force a peace, which will be unsatisfactory as all forced peaces are. Like each side will give more than it wants, but that's the only option. Otherwise, I would bet my house on it. We are going to war with Russia. And